you can only watch it for the first time once. It'll be interesting to see what we catch and what we don't.
This is our only first time.
We know that it's a serialized show.
Have you ever played the video game Mass Effect?
Okay, Tolkien, chill
Putting
out.
some little breadcrumbs.
Jean Prade Chuckle Nugget.
Question.
This is
Question.
where Babylon
Question.
5 is becoming Babylon 5.
We have the most incredible community out there.
Feels like we're going to continue to go down this rabbit hole.
I was right.
Just trying to put the pieces together.
I was right.
I'm the king, baby.
What? Are you kidding me? Here I go back to Dune, as I often
We're
do.
officially into it, Jeff. 100%
So good.
It was so completely accurate.
That was great. I love that.
Definitive ranking. I can keep watching the show.
I love it so much.
The year is 2026. The name of the podcast, Babylon 5, for the second time.
Welcome to Babylon 5 for the second time. My name is Brent Allen.
And my name's Jeff Akin. Brent and I used to be Star Trek podcasters, but then we watched Babylon 5 for the first time, and everything changed. So now we're watching this incredible series for the second time because Babylon 5 is a show that you get to watch for the first time twice.
That's right. That's right. But you know what we're doing this time around, though, Jeff?
What's that?
Basically the same thing we did last time, which is we're looking for messages. It's kind of the thing we do. It's sort of our shtick. We're looking for messages. We're looking for ones we didn't see the first time, maybe ones we forgot about, or maybe ones we just want to double down on. The types of messages we're looking for, the good sci-fi type stuff, things that hold up a mirror to society, things that give us hope that things can be better in the future, or maybe they just tell us how to be better human beings to one another. Now, that being said, Jeff and I have been through this entire series for the first time for ourselves. So what that means is from this point forward, anything from any point in the timeline, any point in the franchise, whether it's extra canonical, in universe, out of universe, whatever, it's all fair game for Jeff and I to talk about. So if you have not seen this incredible series for the first time for yourself, please stop this video, stop this podcast, stop this, whatever it is you're joining us on, and go back to our first time. That is completely spoiler free because this is your spoiler warning. Everything is fair game for us from this point forward.
There's going to be a lot of spoilers coming in this one. Kind of a big deal episode. It's Interludes and Examinations. We played a game the first time around where we guessed what the next show was going to be about based on the title alone. Do you remember what you predicted for this episode?
I did. I had a lot of words, but the gist of it was war is here. And so it's time for everybody to get their crap together. Everybody seems to be dealing with stuff. Like Franklin's dealing with the STEM addiction. Ivanova's still dealing with some of the Talia fallout. Garibaldi's got his stuff. Delenn, Sheridan. Everybody seems to have their stuff. They got to get it all they got to get it wrapped up because war is here. It's time. It's go time. It's go time. And that's what I said this episode would be about, is them getting their stuff together. How about you, Jeff?
Pretty much the same thing. I was like, we're going to get the follow-ups from Ceremonies and Light and Dark. But the specific, I got way specific on this one, and the big one that
That's where predictions go to die, my friend.
I know. And although on this one, it worked out pretty great. I said Dr. Franklin is going to open up to Garibaldi about his STEM addiction. So, but I figured this is just going to be like getting everybody to kind of a clean point. We can really focus on the war moving forward.
I just want to reiterate something about this STEM addiction. All right. I know Franklin came in the other day and said, I think I've got a problem. I know we've seen him using his stems, and I know he has the episode Walkabout coming up. Right. But just for the record, and I know we've said it on a couple other shows, but just at the outset here, on my second watch, I don't feel like Franklin's STEM addiction is as big of a deal as I did feel the first time around.
I feel the same.
The first time around, it felt like it overshadowed everything. This time around, it feels like it's barely a blip on my radar. So
It was like 2 episodes. It became a big deal for parts of it.
Right. But the first time around, it felt huge.
Yeah.
It felt like it literally overshadowed everything. So, hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, you know something that also kind of looms over everything, at least as far as this show is concerned?
What's that?
It's what we said last time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where we were last time. Why don't we take a moment and remind ourselves and the folks watching, the folks listening, exactly what you and I said about this show, about this episode last time.
All right, let's do it. Previously on Babylon 5 for the first time.
I don't know how many questions have been answered, but I do have several new questions.
Yeah.
Why do they still need Londo? What is the deal with Morden? What is it about Sheridan specifically Is Kosh really dead? We're going to get the redemption of Londo Mollari, right? Londo went to a darker place than we've ever seen him before.
Yeah. When Londo's stopping the Dr. Hobbs, and like, I broke with him.
Mm-hmm.
Londo is going to become both a literal and figurative Shadow Emperor. Like, that's Morden's whole thing, is we need him because we can make him Emperor and he'll do anything we need him to do.
Oh, is that what's going to happen with Londo? Like, he's taken over by a shadow?
So
is Jakar going to be able to commune somehow with the real Londo?
Maybe they have some sort of connection because of the dust.
What you're saying then is Jakar killing Londo is more like a mercy killing.
Exactly.
And then Veer's going to walk in and discover Londo's dead body and like steal his crown or something. And Garibaldi goes full on intervention in him. But you don't think he's leaving the show?
I think he's headed down below. I don't think Franklin's done at all. I think we have more fall of him.
When Sheridan realized he needed to convince the worlds, I was sitting there, I was like, Garibaldi just told you how to do it. You guys just had this with Vester. Grab a telepath, put him on a ship, go find a shadow ship, kill the ship, job done.
I'm not with you on Kosh. I can't believe he's dead. My guess is that it's one of those things where, like, you may strike me down, but I will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
I will be incredibly disappointed if Kosh comes back in the next episode or 2, or 3 or 4.
Kosh didn't know how to respond, and I felt like when he did respond, it sounded a whole lot like a parent or a teacher talking to a child. So we had Sinclair, who had the Minbari soul, and we're like, oh, of course Sheridan's got a Minbari soul. What if he doesn't? What if he has a Vorlon in him? And I think that might be the quality that Sheridan has that they need, that willingness to give it all up.
So does this show end with Sheridan sacrificing himself? People out there are either freaking out over everything we've just said, or they're like, would you guys shut up and move on?
And now, the conclusion.
Wow.
My gosh.
Wow.
Well, so first off, there's some chatter in the Council Chambers chat. For those of you that don't know, our Council Chambers tier subscribers get invited to our recordings. But I was wearing a suit and tie because I was dressed for the funeral.
It was the funeral,
Yeah,
right?
the funeral of Kosh.
Meanwhile, I'm in a t-shirt and a backwards ball cap. Just slunched down. I was like, whatever.
Yeah. We had some good stuff in that one.
Dude, Londo's going to be taken over by a shadow, and that's what we see of the coughing Londo and all that stuff going forward. And so Jakar's killing him is a mercy killing?
Right.
Oh, that would have recolored everything. But you didn't think Kosh was dead.
I didn't.
Wow.
And really,
I was all for it.
There's
Yeah.
a piece of Kosh in all of us.
I was going to say
Yeah.
a bit of Kosh survived, and that's kind of the point, right? Do you remember, though, this was kind of my favorite memory that triggered while we were watching all of that? On our Discord, you guys remember this, Council Chambers and everybody else out there, on our Discord, everybody changed their username or their screen name to Kosh.
Yes.
Because we all are Kosh. And they didn't tell us that that's what they were doing. They just did it. And like, we just looked up one day and we're like, how many Koshes are there?
Right? What's happening here? We have to thank, of course, Delenn, our real life on Earth Delenn, for putting that together. She's been putting those together and will continue to. So huge thank you to you, Delenn, because it is a fun way to be able to experience our first time.
There it is. That's a little bit from our first time, though, Jeff. You scoured the internet. You looked up what JMS himself had to say. Forget us. Let's go to the horse's mouth. What did he have to say about this episode?
There are miles and miles of comments on this one. I mean, there's so much. And so I distilled it down to a very small handful that we'll bring up here at the start. Then I have a couple that we'll hit during the episode itself. He said that the story, as he was writing, the story took a turn that even I didn't see coming, and I loved it. After Kosh's death, which he told me needed to happen, no one would talk to me for a few days, so I know I did the right thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeff, I don't know if you've ever experimented with fictional writing.
A little bit,
where you're doing like this sort of narrative prose. It's a real thing that the characters sort of take over and tell you what's happening, and all you're doing is just recording it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a real thing. The idea that he did not plan for the Kosh death.
Yeah.
Oh, which makes me wonder because this is what triggers the Vorlon to go like ape crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I wonder if that was even a part of the actual idea for what he was headed towards. It doesn't sound like maybe it was, but I'm kind of glad to know that it wasn't, because I've never loved the Vorlon going crazy. Like they've been super steady all of this time, and then all of a sudden they just fall off a cliff, and that's when everything kind of goes to like. But for his story and what he told, I love it. It's great. So, yeah, interesting.
We've had a theory, a question, something like that for a very long time, and he's sort of, I'll say answers it, but touches on it here. He's asked about Kosh's age, and he says, I'll put it to you this way. Kosh was old enough to have a first-hand familiarity with Valen. Vorlons?
Vorlons. the
Heading on down to New Orleans.
The Klingons and the Vorlons.
Vorlons live a really long time. So we've been wondering if, like, when Sinclair showed up as Valen and there's the two, if Kosh had gone back with him. This tells me that either, yes, he was one of those, or he was a little kid Vorlon running around at the time and maybe ran into him.
I think he would have to be a little kid Vorlon who was running around at the time and did not go back with him. One, because Kosh was already dead. Like, we haven't hit War Without End.
Right.
So Kosh is dead. Like, before Sinclair goes back, Kosh is now dead, right? Or whatever he is. Alive in Sinclair or Sheridan's body, whatever. But two, if he were to go back and he were to live another 1,000 years to get back to this point, he would be cyclical at that point, and he would have no beginning.
Right.
So the idea that Sinclair goes back without him, but goes and finds Kosh and Kosh 2.0, and then grabs them and goes to Mimbar with the station. That makes that makes a lot more sense to me, anyway.
Totally. Well, hey, what do you say we watch this bad boy?
Yeah, let's do it.
For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome. We're super happy you're here. Every episode is someone's first, and we are overjoyed that you chose this one. What's about to happen is Brent and I are going to watch the episode right now. We're going to bring it up. We're going to watch it. You're going to watch it with us. Over on YouTube, this will get edited and cut up into one of those reaction-style videos. We post the full and unedited versions over on our Patreon page if you want to see that, and that's at patreon.com/
Bad Nerds.
And if you guys are listening to us on an audio podcasting app, an audio platform of any sort, you're going to hear that reaction. And we're going to leave that in because Jeff and I are sure to have conversations in the middle of that, and we're not going to rehash them on the other side. That would be boring, and we want you guys to know what's going on as far as that goes as well. So you'll hear that reaction, but don't worry, we will actually still have the full discussion on the other side of that, where we'll share our thoughts, we'll talk about messages, we'll rank it, all that sort of stuff. So Jeff, let's watch this episode.
Let's do it.
10 days ago, for the first time, the Shadows began attacking openly. So far, they've been hitting targets close to the rim.
We heard that at
Minor
the end of
powers,
last episode.
a few
Yeah.
of
The
them
shadows
even
are attacking
online
openly
worlds.
now, right?
So we're a week and a half up from
The
last
attacks
week.
seemed totally random, almost senseless. If we thought it was nuts around here before, this has only made things worse.
You know, it might be the video that we're watching, or it could be a filter of how they actually did it. Everything looks a little bit more grayscale-ish, black and whitish.
We've had
Like
to
the
hire
colors
more
don't look as
security
vibrant
personnel
as
to
they
keep
normally
things
do.
Yeah, and just a
Wrong type of
darker
people don't
overall
get involved.
tone.
Yeah. Is that Morden?
It is, and there's a very bright light on him
Without
compared
our
to everyone
resources
else.
back home for background
Yeah.
checks, we have to assume there will be lapses.
Is this guy a security guard? He is. Paying in diamonds?
That's what it looks like.
You know, that was a very clandestine,
Everyone's
like...
been handling the stress
Right.
pretty well.
Seems like just one of those like little drug
Sooner or
passes
later.
could have solved that.
Something's got to give somewhere.
Uh-oh. I remember the first time around,
Nobody's
I
seen
thought,
Kosh in
well, I
almost a
saw
week.
that and I was like, I nailed my prediction.
When the Vorlon goes to ground, I worry. What's going through its mind? I can't even guess. And Londo.
That was a
is
cool
Londo.
transition.
Yeah.
You never know which way he'll jump next.
Come.
Londo, you wanted to see me?
Yes, Veer. All right, that's fine. Bring in the waste a little and we'll be done.
Just want to point
Chairs.
out what an incredible open that was.
Yeah.
And it's awesome voiceover, recapped everything. If you just showed up, you've got a pretty decent idea what's going on right now.
Sure. You just don't know who anybody is, but that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll
Figure it out.
that out.
Good.
Yeah.
I want you to rent a suite for me.
It'll cost.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing is too good for her.
Her? Her who?
Adira, after all this time, finally coming back to me.
You know what's amazing is we haven't seen her in
So far, we've got everything
seasons.
more or less
like
under
2.5
control.
seasons. She was in one
Should be okay
episode,
for now.
way back at the beginning of the show,
As long
and
as
she,
nothing
her
else
spirit has
goes wrong.
loomed over there. He went and got his money back.
Yep. It's so.
I forget, what did he get off of him? Was it access card or something?
An Identicard, probably.
All right, Jeff.
Yeah, you got the feeling right now that, like, I mean, this is that tonal shift that JMS talked about in Ceremonies of Light and Dark. Like, this is it, crystal clear.
It's amazing how much Adira looms over this whole show when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like how much most of what Londo does is kind of because of her. Maybe not most, but like, well, I'll tell you this, anything good that Londo does really is because of her. Morden paid off a security guy to get an identi card. We're assuming that's what it is, or do we know that that's what that is?
I'd bet on it. I'd bet a lot of diamonds that it was.
Right. And then they turned around and like let him walk away and then came back and shanked him later and got their diamonds back.
Yeah.
That's...
It's filthy.
Do they care that much about diamonds?
I think it's just the principle of the whole thing.
You know, Ben says that this is the episode that really marks the turn into serialized storytelling more than any other.
Technology is too far advanced beyond our own.
I mean, it really goes from here all the way to episode 6 of season 4.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to put a blink on that, but could be even more.
So this shot, JMS had a comment. He says that the background, the depiction of Brikiri space, was taken right from a Hubble deep space shot.
Cool.
We use them a lot, as they're provided by the folks who keep track of it all and keep it all running. They willingly send images over to him because they dig the show.
Too far advanced beyond our own.
Colin points out last time we were 50-50 on whether they were diamonds or crack rocks.
Against this new enemy without
Yeah.
help. Is there anything that Earth can do?
Ambassador Sheila, there are 4 other worlds in your area that could help the Brikiri. But they said they would only consider it if your people got involved.
He's trying to broker alliances already.
Will you?
Yeah.
No.
It's the birth of the Interstellar Alliance. That's what he's got to now turn around and make.
And why
right?
not?
We are not attacked yet. May not be attacked.
Oh, I
If we
remember
join
this.
Brikiri, we are noticed. We invite attack.
They are going to come for you sooner or later.
Right. When they
You do
came,
not know that. What they do not see, they may not attack. The enemy is powerful.
when they came for the Narn, I
Show
said
us you
nothing.
have equal
When they
power.
came for the
Then we will
Brikiri, I
consider.
said nothing.
If not,
And they
we
came
will
for
stay
me.
Quiet.
And there was no one left.
Do you have equal power?
You know, the thing is, I kind of get what they're saying.
You shouldn't have brought him to me for...
It's easy for us to sit back and say, you should take a galactic view of this. This impacts everybody. And I even think when we watched this the first time, we probably had that exact same general feeling.
Yeah.
Like, come on, help each other out. But you're right. If someone's attacking Canada and I'm the United States and I'm like, hey, they're not attacking us. Like, maybe we just lay in the cut here and let this whole thing blow over and figure it out from there.
That is part of the problem with an Earth first mentality.
Mm-hmm.
We can keep this in universe here.
Yeah.
Draw whatever y'all want. But that's the problem with an Earth first mentality is you lose the global or the galactic viewpoint of things. The idea that you're not just alone. Like, yeah, you've got to take care of your own. Like in our neighborhoods, you've got to care for your family first, right? You've got to take care of your house. But at the same time, you have an obligation to the rest of your neighborhood, to your community. Where if stuff's going down in your community, you gotta. There's places where there's times to step up and times to not. And the question is which one's which.
Yeah, and I think that's a change in that's an evolutionary change in mindset. When you think about, for a long time, these races didn't even know the other ones existed.
Yeah.
So I mean, really, when you think about the galactic stage, it's fairly in its younger stages, and so they haven't gotten to that point. They have manifest destiny, they have isolationism, they don't have galacticism yet.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's what Sheridan starts here working towards.
Well, I think what we're seeing is the Monroe Doctrine not only doesn't work on Earth, it also doesn't work in space.
Exactly.
Prepare to ventilate lung number 3.
You do that, you disrupt this entire metabolism.
Look, this is my facility, Dr. Hobbs, and I don't like having my judgment
This is the Franklin that we know and hate.
Right, yes.
Look, I don't have time for this, and neither does he, all right?
They're like, we have to remind you that this guy
Take the
sucks.
pressure off the secondary pulmonaries. Where should we start? 9 PSI.
Doctor!
Have a seat, lend a hand, or get out of my way, but do not question me in my lab, Doctor.
We like
your lab.
this Dr. Hobbs, and she shows up a couple times through. I think earlier she was in.
Is she the one who gets the medical officership handed off to her at the end?
I think so. Either she gets it or we wanted her to get it. One of the two.
What? And I said 13 PSI. 13! 13! Now you got it? Damn it!
That had to be kind of fun for Biggs. Like, just be a jerk, man. Just go full speed.
You know, I got it. I'm doing a thing right now where I've got to play a guy who's very grumpy and very whatever. And like, it's so not my personality thing to where like I'm turning around looking at the director going, is this what you want? Like, I'll go here if that's what you want, but you know, I don't know. But also he's yelling 13, 13, 13, but he didn't say 13. He said 9.
He said 9
just a second ago, right? I have been on both sides of that. I have received instruction from somebody who is yelling at me for doing the wrong thing when I'm like, I did exactly what you told me to do, dude. Right? I know I've also been on the other side of that where I've been wrong about the instructions that I gave. So just careful, folks. Careful.
It can be an honest mistake.
Uncap in place.
This wasn't.
Good. Then take this and wear it proudly as a free woman. And someday, come back to me.
I think the fact that that brooch or whatever that he gave her shows up when she's like, it's one of the things to prove that she was there. She still had it on her. That says that she cared. If she was just using him for something, she would have sold that for credits the minute she got onto a planet.
My ambassador.
Because I'm just saying, she is a paid escort.
Ambassador?
She knows how to make people think that she
Yes,
wants them.
dear, what is
It's
it?
true. Like,
You asked me to remind you about Adira's suite. You can look at it whenever you like.
All right, I'll be right there.
I think it's one of those things I'd be like, I trust you. It's okay.
Not Londo. We got to get this chance meeting with Morden right here.
Again, high-ranking ambassador, as particularly of the Centauri Republic right now, walking alone through the
Hello? Who is there?
Dude, this, you know what this has echoes of? Geometry of Shadows.
We have something to settle.
Yeah. Good call. I do love though that Morden can like have his own lighting scheme.
Right.
Surprised he doesn't have entrance music.
I don't know how you did it.
I don't think you have any interest in restoring the glory of the Centauri Republic. No, I think you are using us as agents of chaos.
Oh, Lord.
Convenient distraction, making it easier for your associates to do whatever they wish to do.
My associates need a voice and an ear in the Centauri Royal Court. If you violate the terms of our agreement, my associates may turn their eye toward your homeworld.
When he blasts the shadow agents, it's because of what happened right here.
If
For the
you
first
put
time,
yourself
he's
between
like,
us and our objectives, you may come to regret
Wait,
it.
what?
So
Turn their eye toward your homeworld.
fast forward to season 4, right?
Yeah.
And Morden comes in and he's like, I'm not gonna blah blah blah, and Londo's like, fine, pew pew pew, and then he shoots the shadow agents around him.
Yeah.
He does that because in this moment was when he's like, oh, he's got shadow dudes around him. Because
And he realizes that right now. Oh, he just heard him? Okay. I want to watch and see if I pick that up.
If you put yourself between us and our objectives, you may come to regret it.
There is nothing you can do to me, Mr. Morden, that has not already been done. Good day.
Interesting.
And he's a smart guy. Like here, he's showing, I put all the pieces together.
No.
Yeah.
We need him alive for now.
So they have like invisibility cloak thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, come in.
I wonder if they originally they were supposed to have the changeling nets and they would look like normal people
I just thought I'd swing by.
as opposed
see how things are
to
going. You,
just being invisible. But that
in
got
or going
changed
out?
because of Odo.
Going out.
Dude, Biggs is ripped.
Big. He's
Long
big.
enough to grab a fast shower, something to eat. I got to get back to work. I thought your shift ended half an hour ago. Look, I saw how you were this afternoon in MedLab.
This is the lesson that Jeff has just taken from this show. If you do stims, you have a ripped, incredible body. So I am now going to start taking stims. Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Well, I was busy. I lost my temper. No, you were
Causation and correlation right here.
You were crazed and distracted, and it nearly cost you the life of one of your patients. As the head of security.
Yeah, what are you gonna do, Michael? Arrest me for being distracted? I didn't know that was a crime. Now, if you'll excuse me.
A crime. I didn't know that was a crime.
Get back
That's
to work.
Hey, Stephen, wait.
we haven't heard that since he came back.
Commander Sinclair.
Commander Sinclair.
So you do your job and I'll do mine, okay?
And you're not the boss of me.
Just remember, I came to you first. I gave you a chance. You give it me.
I remember us talking about this the first time around, talking about you can only have this conversation if you've personally experienced this. And here's what we know now. JMS wrote this for Jerry, not because he's on the other side of it, but because he's in the middle of it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's pretty deep.
Basically, we were wrong about what we were saying. But I wonder, you know, I know JMS has the psychology thing and he worked as an orderly in a thing. And I wonder if a part of what he did was substance abuse. You know,
Maybe.
like for whatever time he had in that, I wonder, or like maybe it was a part of what he did was substance abuse, because he writes this so well.
Yeah.
Like in this part here, continuing into season, is it season, it's season 5, right? All of that, he writes it as if he's lived it, but when we read his autobiography, it doesn't seem like that's been a thing for him. Yeah, certainly people around him.
I would think when he was working in that space, though, we didn't do a lot around substance. Alcoholism, yes, but other substances, like just not as much. But I love right now, like just taking this scene we just watched, fast forward to season 5 with Garibaldi and Lockley, and the way that like seamlessly Garibaldi. I love the progression, because that's how addiction can work, right? It's very real.
It keeps the major powers off guard, never knowing when to expect an attack.
But what is the goal? If it isn't about territory, what is it about?
That's the question, isn't it? It's not about territory. What is it about?
Terror.
I don't know. The only way we're going to
much like the
survive
Minbari
this war is to organize the League, the Narns, and as many other races as possible into a cohesive, offensive force.
Into a cohesive interstellar alliance.
So I remember the first time we watched this, Jeff, when Delenn came out with this idea while Sheridan was being hauled up for charges back on Earth, right at the end of season 4, right? And then she comes in with Londo and Jakar, and they're standing in front of everybody at the podium, and they're announcing this big new interstellar alliance, and they're doing the flyover, which is an act of intimidation. And Sheridan just kicks back like, yeah, I'm the new president. I can do all of this. And you realize, like, it seems like he knew that this was coming. This wasn't a surprise. This wasn't something they just did for him, right?
Yeah.
Is this where he's telling her this is where it starts for her along that journey?
I think
right
so.
Here?
I think in a real way, this episode is the birthplace of the ISA.
Yeah. Mark that down. That's a sound bite.
It's never been done before, and I can see why. I mean, it's like stacking marbles in a corner.
I use that all the time at
In
work.
their own agendas and their own rivalries. But at this moment, the stone cold fact is that none of us can stand up to those ships.
And that's the bottom line, because John Sheridan said so.
Score one victory against the shadows.
What?
It'd be enough to make some of the others come around.
What?
Perhaps we should give them a victory.
Oh, just like that?
What?
Just like that.
And how do you suggest we do that?
What? I could do this all day.
Right?
Sure you'll think of something.
You could do it for years and years.
Sheridan 316.
John 316.
Nuke 'em.
Every day, people around here start talking more and more like Kosh.
Speaking of which.
Bingo.
Huh.
I'm sorry to bother you. I'm looking for Veer Kodo. I was supposed to meet him here.
You just missed him.
I had some details to work out with him.
Details, huh?
Yeah, I think that he said that he was going to talk to you about them. Perhaps you could just tell me what I missed.
What's impressive about this, I didn't pick up on it the first time. There's no way we could have. But when they were in the corridor, Londo says, do whatever, man. You can't do anything to me that hasn't been done before. Right here, he just figured out, oh, there's one thing that hasn't been done to you before.
X amount of something is safe, Y amount is dangerous. X amount of stems in your bloodstream proves that you're not addicted. Y amount proves that you are. It's funny how easy it is to just lose track. You don't realize how much you're doing.
But the numbers don't lie, do they?
No, they don't. So, now that we both know the truth, what are you gonna do about it?
That's funny. I was just gonna ask you the same question. Because right now, it's not my decision. It's yours.
I guess it is.
You know, we gave Franklin a really hard time about a lot of things. And one of the things we give him a hard time about is that he's like, oh, look at me, I know everything. I'm the best doctor that has ever existed. I submit to you that perhaps he is. Because he was able in this moment to look at those test results and just take them for what they were. I think someone who may not have the professionalism that he has would have been like, oh, yeah, this must be, maybe there's something wrong with the scale that they're grading it on. Maybe it's a blood, like he'd find some excuse. But he really boiled it down to numbers don't lie, man.
Right, but I don't think this is the thing that ultimately shook him out. This is something that Franklin has been questioning in his mind for a while. This isn't just oh man, I thought everything was nice and groovy till I took this test and I looked at the numbers and holy crap, turns out I'm addicted and now I got to do something about it because I don't think that's what's going on here. He's been worried about this for a while. He's been aware of it for a while. And then he shoves it down, he forgets about it and just carries on and shoots up his next shot, right? It wasn't until he was able to look at the numbers that he was able to go, okay, this thing I've suspected about myself, this thing that I've done this, in that way, he was ready to deal with it. If he had, and what I'm saying is, if he had seen those numbers, logic or not, if he wasn't ready to deal with it, he would have done what you said and created an excuse.
Maybe.
He came to it as a person who was ready to deal with it when this thing hit him in the face.
I like that. I think because I was thinking about it more in terms of he was definitely on the path of seeing it, but he could rationalize everything that happened. You know, gosh, I really, like, should I have taken that shot? Yeah, I should have, because we were shorthanded, or he had an excuse for everything. And this was the thing he finally hit where he's like, I can't rationalize my way out of this one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think he went on the journey, essentially.
I know you can't take the entire Shadow Fleet by yourself, but if you could beat them in just one fight,
Just want to be like,
it could be the
wanna
break
bet?
we need to get everyone organized. Then we'd have a real chance.
That's actually kind of funny considering he just said
could
that to
do it.
Kosh's face. I know you can't take him out yourself.
Right?
Perhaps, but there are still few of us. It is not our time. It is yours. We are not prepared yet.
Don't turn your back on me. Don't you even try to...
Back it up
Before we get into this, I want to ask this question. Kosh just says something. It is not our time. It is yours. At the end of the war, I think it's Dylan and Sheridan in that little transport as they go off. It's our time now.
Mm-hmm.
It's our time to make some magic. It's our time to...
It's our time
whatever.
Down here.
It's our time. It's their time up there. But down here, it's our time. It's our time down here. Is that what Kosh was just talking about? Is he trying to tell them, hey guys, this is your time?
I think what's interesting is how it would be their time if the Shadows and Vorlon weren't there, because it is past their time. It's no longer theirs, but they're still here. The Shadows are a problem because the Vorlon exist. The Vorlons are a problem, not depending on perspective, because the Shadows exist. Sheridan says it well again back up in season 4. It's like giants playing in the playground. They shouldn't be there, yet here they are. So yeah, he's not wrong. This is going to be your time, and I think he's setting that up. But also, it wouldn't have to be our time, bro, if you did what you should have done and gotten the heck out of Dodge. Kosh is using the problem he and his people have helped create as the justification to not solve the problem.
Don't turn your back on me. Don't you even try to walk away from me. Just who the hell do you think you are? Wait, I know what you think you are.
I'm your
what you want us
daddy.
to believe, but I don't buy it. For 3 years now, you've been pulling everyone's strings, getting us to do all the work, and you haven't done a damn thing but stand there and look crypt. Well, it's about time you started pulling your own weight around here.
Dude, I know that look.
Location?
Yes.
That look was, who are you talking to, son?
I don't know that he has ever been spoken to that way. Ever.
Right? I mean, like, I know that, I give that look sometimes.
Yes.
He just turned around and went, well, I can't say this is a family-friendly show, but dang.
Yeah, he just said,
dang.
Do it.
Did you see that?
Do it. Come on. I dare you.
I don't know. It's a non-localized phenomenon.
Where's Corwin?
You've got a saying, understanding is a three-edged sword. Well, we got a saying, too. Put your money where your mouth is.
Impudent.
Yeah?
I've got a few other sayings that would have fit better right there.
You said you wanted
Put
to
up
teach me
or
to
shut
fight
up
legends.
comes to
Well,
mind.
you're a legend, too, and I am not going away until you agree.
Incorrect. Leave now.
No.
Disobedient.
Up yours.
So good.
So,
this is how it's going to be.
Kosh shows his colors at last, huh? You angry now? Angry enough to kill me? Because that's the only way I'm leaving.
Angry enough to do something
Unless
about
your
it.
people get off their encounter-suited butts and do something, I've got nothing to lose. Hell, my own government wants to kill me. And if we lose this war, I'm just as dead. Our only chance is to get the other races on board for this fight. And right now, you're the key to doing that.
It is not yet time.
And who
Yeah, it
decides
is.
that time? You put me in this position. You asked me to fight this damn war. Well, it's about time you let me fight it my way.
So good.
How many people have already died fighting this war of yours, huh?
And
How many
he's
more
right.
will die before you come down
It's
off
his
that mountain
war.
and get involved?
Right?
Ships, colonies, whole worlds are being destroyed out there, and you do nothing. How many more? How many more, Kosh? How many more dead before you're satisfied, huh?
Wow.
Go ahead. Maybe one more death will help balance out the books.
Wow.
Go on, get it over with.
It's incredible how right Sheridan is.
trouble later.
He is describing what's actually happening.
Right.
It's a game of chess, and the Vorlons are willing to sacrifice all the pieces.
there is a price to pay. I will not be there to help you when you go to Zahadum.
You already said if I go to Zahadum, I'll die.
Yes.
He's not wrong.
Now,
If that's the trade-off. If you want to withhold your help when the time comes, that's fine. I'll go it alone.
And really what
you do
Kosh means is I can't go with you.
Right.
But you will.
Although, Kosh is there.
Sure.
Because there's a piece of Kosh.
So at what point does Kosh inhabit Sheridan? Was it in that moment right there where he zapped him?
I think it's when as he's dying, and then we'll see it. I think it's at the end of this episode.
We just haven't hit it yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So this whole scene for me, just reframed, comes the Inquisitor for me.
Right.
And what I wonder is, was Kosh pretty much... Was he not as angry as he was playing to be? Sheridan proved himself when in comes the Inquisitor, but I would say Delenn proved herself more than Sheridan. She's the one who took hours and hours and hours of hell, and he basically had to watch, what was happening to her. And so she's the one, right? Like she showed she's the one. And part of her being the one was she's like, hey, if I go, there's someone who will come behind me, and there's someone who will come behind them. Like I'm okay sacrificing myself. I wonder if Kosh was escalating this to the point to get to where Sheridan just did of, fine, kill me, because if that helps end this, it's okay. Like it's almost his comes the Inquisitor moment.
Wow. That's wow.
The other side to that, though, is he was that angry and spinning it up. And it's just like, gosh, what did you think was going to happen? Because you actually watched this play out last season.
Right.
Either way, I see that episode a lot differently now.
The Vorlon are engaging the shadows. I don't think I ever realized just how much bigger the Vorlon ships are than the shadows.
Who's winning?
We are.
Or how much bigger the shadow vessels are than the Vorlon vessels. Do you think the ships, because they're organic tech, experience physical pain?
I do. In fact, I think that gets referenced at some point. I think.
It's strange, I can barely catch my breath. I have been looking forward to this for so long that I feel...
It's like this beating in my chest. I don't know what it's from.
I feel happy. I had almost forgotten what it was like. But I don't understand. We couldn't have missed her. Excuse me, sir. There are more coming behind you, are there not?
What's Londo thinking? Oh, yeah.
Ambassador?
Who is that?
I'm sorry, this isn't...
I said, who is that?
So what we know is...
Addryc.
What we know is Morden actually killed her, or the shadows with Morden actually killed her, right? But it was ordered by Rifa.
No.
Rifa had nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it. They frame Rifa.
They framed Rifa for it. Okay.
The purser found her in her cabin just before they docked.
How did they get on board to kill her if they've been on Babylon 5 this whole time?
I feel like that gets addressed.
Okay.
I think.
I'm sorry, Ambassador. Did you know her?
Yeah, I've been planning to stup her for the next week.
How did she die?
We don't
All
know.
6.
There was no sign of violence, no obvious trauma. It may have been natural causes. We won't know for sure until there's an autopsy.
Why? Why did you do this?
Poison was always the instrument of choice in the Old Republic, being something of a sentimentalist. I got here first, and because sooner or later you would do it to me.
Londo just bloviating in that scene, and then that going from that to this right here. Like, you can feel.
I'm sorry, Ambassador. I'll see to it you get a full report.
Check her for poison. Yes. You hear me? Check her for poison.
I should stop by, see Kosh. Thank him for his help.
It's almost 2 a.m. You're exhausted. My grandfather had a saying, good news can wait. Bad news will refuse to leave. Get some sleep.
Good news can wait, or bad news can wait.
Let's go.
How many of them are there?
Johnny.
This is where the piece of Kosh goes into Sheridan.
Because this is Kosh. Yeah.
I don't have much time, son. I want you to know you were right. I didn't want to admit that. Just pride, I guess. You get my age, you get kind of set in your ways. It had to be done. Don't blame yourself for what happened later.
Okay, we understand this is actually Kosh talking to Sheridan.
Yes.
You were right? You were right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't blame yourself for what happened later. It had to be done. What's he talking about?
Making the Vorlon fight. He was right to make them fight, and stuff's going to escalate dramatically, and he shouldn't blame himself for that. Or
is he talking about his own death right here?
I think he might be, yeah.
It's like, it had to be done. I had to die. This had to happen, right?
I don't know if that part had to happen. I think it was the Vorlon getting involved that had to happen.
I literally could see it being either one. All right, let's keep watching. Yeah, I agree.
You all right? It's too late for me. I'm sorry for what I did before. I knew what was ahead.
He's apologizing.
I guess I was afraid. When you've lived as long as I have, you kind of get used to it.
To being afraid?
I wish I could have done more for you.
Wow.
There's so much I should have said, and now it's too late.
That's so powerful coming from his dad, like the image of his dad.
You're right. It's time you begin fighting this war your way.
It's beautiful, and it's Vorlon manipulation at such a deep level.
No, don't leave.
As long as you're here, I'll always be here.
Kosh!
Oh my Kosh!
Yeah. Who had it worse, Rifa or Kosh?
I think they had it. It's almost the exact
People
same
going
thing.
over Kosh's
right?
place with a fine-tooth comb, but we've got nothing.
Except Rifa's head
No sign
didn't
of
get
first entry,
displayed on a right
prints,
here.
DNA fragments. The place looks like it's been through a war. No sign of a body.
You will not find one.
Then how do you know he's dead?
I know.
Because he didn't have a body.
So did the Vorlons.
Well, he had to because he shook hand and got poisoned.
They asked us to keep this to ourselves.
He must have known this would happen. As soon as the Vorlons got directly involved. That's what he meant when he said that he wouldn't be there for me later. I thought he was angry, trying to punish me.
He's an angry Vorlon.
We look at him and
They'll see that soon enough.
who would think he could be afraid?
The Vorlon government made one final request. They asked that his encounter suit, everything that was his, be placed in his ship.
So his ship can sail out to sea.
It was poison.
That girl was
As I suspected.
poisoned.
So she got poisoned.
And I believe you know something about this.
Last thing I heard from Lord Rifa was that he was very upset with you. Understandable, you did try to poison him after all.
So this is Morden playing him.
Yep.
He
Rifa
mentioned
doesn't
something
know
about
a
evening
thing.
the score.
Nothing.
I wasn't able to find out what he was planning because he stopped talking to me right after that.
Because you
After
told him
urging.
to. Yeah. This is your fault, Londo.
If I had stayed in contact with him, sooner or later I'd found out what he was up to, and I could have stopped him.
Yeah, see, she still had it on her.
I gave this to her. I might as well have signed her death warrant.
It's just like, this is it. This is it.
Everyone around me dies, Mr. Morden, except the ones that most deserve it. That is about to change. You said that you would go away for as long as I wanted. I no longer want that. All I want now is revenge. Will you help me, Mr. Morden?
Of course.
Let me think about it.
Ambassador.
I don't know.
As ever, I am always in your service.
As ever.
So let's examine this a little bit because I feel like they didn't make any sense. I want you, Mr. Morden, to strike down those who did this to me, Rifa, and ensure the safety of my people, Rifa, and let the galaxy. The galaxy had nothing to do with this. Like, he clearly wants revenge on Rifa, which makes sense, which he gets by calling Jakar. Like, hey, here's an idea. Yeah, this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know if I am reading it wrong or not seeing something. Like, let's say I manufactured the murder of your wife and you found out that I did that. And so you went to, I don't know, the big bad guys who were killing a bunch of other people and said, okay, I'm going to work with you because I want to go kill Jeff. And I don't care if everyone else dies too. Also, you need to make sure that Jeff and his family and all my people are taken care of.
But doesn't that go back to the thing that we saw back in Knives? Like, I'm going to kill you. And so I've got to, I'm honor bound to take care of your family.
Which he does with Rifa's family.
Which he does, right? But so to be like, yeah, like, help me go kill this guy. I don't care what happens. Let everybody else burn. Oh, except for my people and his family because I'm honor bound to take care of. Maybe. I don't know. Sorry. Yeah. Like I wasn't just trying to be silent. I was just trying to think through the different pieces of that because basically I was just kind of like, no, Londo's just effing pissed. And like, the gains towards redemption that we had started to see him make over the last 14 episodes or so,
gone.
Just it's just amazing how fragile the progress you make can come really in an instant. A single choice can be wiped away.
Yeah. There's a note on the Kosh fight from JMS.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He caught a little bit of flack for not showing the fight. People were confused. And he said that he figured there was literally nothing that he could possibly show that wouldn't be disappointing.
That's a brilliant
absolutely
on his part. Yeah.
He says if we showed Kosh shooting a defensive field or his shadow opening his suit with a can opener or anything else obvious and physical, it would have diminished the scene and the Vorlons. They're supposed to be mythic, indirect. You see them out of the corner of your eye. So him dying this way fit the proper metaphor of who they are.
And he left them wanting more.
Right? Yeah.
Which is always what you want to do. You know, I think it takes a very strong writer to not answer questions and leave things open-ended because of this very reason.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that I can put out there that is going to be, there's never going to be I have my own stories that I've been trying to tell people that frankly, if I were to actually tell you the real story of how it goes, it would never be nearly as satisfying as what you've built up in your head.
Right.
You know, I've also got some really cool stories that are freaking awesome and I need to tell them someday, but today is not that day. So yeah.
We're heading into a big scene right now with Dr. Franklin. And I have another thing that JMS shared that I want to share beforehand because I think that this lens will add to the scene. I think. Richard Biggs had confessed to JMS that he had been doing some things he shouldn't have been doing. He doesn't share the details out of respect. JMS doesn't. And Franklin's STEM storyline motivated him to quit what he was doing. JMS based the dialogue in this scene on the actual conversation that he had with Richard Biggs, with the first 2 lines being taken verbatim with Biggs's permission. He said a thing I really loved. He said, lots of people have talent, few have talent and integrity, and Richard Biggs is one of them.
Good on him.
Yeah.
And we know this is something JMS does. This is like a JMS special. Let's take something people really said and do something. Yeah, right?
Garibaldi said you wanted to see me privately.
Yes, I did. Maybe you noticed, maybe you haven't.
Franklin going to Sheridan, Biggs going to JMS.
I've been taking stems, John. A lot of them. Too many. Because they kept me busy. They kept me from looking in the mirror and realizing that I do not know who was looking back at me. I was so obsessed with fixing other people's problems because I was afraid to face my own. I don't think I have that luxury anymore. So effective immediately, I am resigning as Chief of Staff of the MedLab facility. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Guess I'll figure it out.
Look,
I've got a lot to figure out, and it's time I got started.
Everything about that scene was perfect. The courage it took for Franklin to show up, the leadership of Sheridan to recognize that, like, even though he had other stuff going on, this was a really big moment. And even at the end, when he hesitated to, like, shake his hand and accept the resignation, he's like, this actually is the right thing to do, and I'm going to do it. And to know that Richard Biggs was experiencing the same thing, what a powerful moment.
Imagine, though, the atmosphere and maybe if I even dare say the word community that JMS as the showrunner built on the set and around the offices, that Biggs felt comfortable enough to be able to come to him and be like, hey, this is what's up. And while he may have lost his job or whatever else is going on, he was able to man up and do that. And that's directly because of what was going on there. So that's
workplace.
That's something
culture.
else, man.
It's interesting. We talked earlier about so much of this storyline being written at Garibaldi.
Yeah.
I have to wonder if maybe JMS had some awareness of whatever it was Biggs was doing and used this. Whether he did or not, I am highly inspired by the fact that playing this part in this storyline motivated Biggs to stop doing whatever hurtful, harmful thing he was doing. That's huge.
Right.
Like, God, what an actor. What a man. And Sheridan right now is like, and now what? Yeah.
Then,
What
once Kosh's belongings are loaded into his ship, it will activate itself. The ship was made for him, and it cannot live without him. So it will grieve, as we do, its own way and perform its last duty in memory of Kosh.
That's a beautiful shot there at the end.
Yeah. Well, Brent, for the second time, we just watched Kosh's ship fly into the sun. What do you got on this one?
I remember being very confused about that whole thing.
Yeah?
Like, why did it fly off into the sun? I don't understand that. I didn't get the organic tech thing. I think I just thought it, again, more metaphorical than anything else.
On that, though, it is interesting because the Minbari, when they die, right, when they're old and they're done, they fly out to sea.
Right.
I almost think that's like a co-opted
Maybe
piece
that's kind of where they,
Mhm.
where they picked it up from. This is an episode that is hard to think of contained into itself. Yes, Kosh dies, but that's maybe 6 minutes of the episode. Maybe not even that much of the episode. There's so much more that happens. And, our friend Ben in our council chamber said it at the Outlier. This really is kind of where the serialization of the show really kicks into another gear. And I think he's right. Like, the show has been quite serialized for a while, but from here, at least through episode 6 of season 4, it's literally one long story. And episodes don't begin, middle, and end. They just sort of tell the story, tell that particular part of the story, right? So it's hard to think about this in terms of the episode in and of itself. And it really takes me back to when we were doing this for the first time, because what was our job the first time around?
Be in the moment. What are we
Be
thinking
in the moment.
right
We're
now?
stopping every 45 minutes and we're kind of capturing thoughts. And I remember so many of the comments were, just stop and watch the rest of the show, because you need the context of the full show. And I kind of feel that right now, of like trying to stop and talk about this without a second viewing of everything else. Now we can have a conversation because we know where it goes, right? But to do it without that context, man, oof. I don't know if I feel like this is a good episode or not. It's not bad. I don't know if I feel that it's incomplete or if I know that it's incomplete, because I know there's so much more that's going on.
Yeah.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Like, it's hard for me to sit back and be like, yeah, here's this episode,
This
right?
great
Like,
episode.
Right, it's a great episode. So I dig it. I like it. I am ready for the next episode. Actually, I don't know, because I think I know what the next episode is.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if I want to go back to that episode or not.
I'm really
yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm really struck in this one, though, how it's a Babylon 5 episode, so it's heavy, but this has 3 very specific heavy things that reverberate through the series, right? The death of Adira, the death of Kosh, and Franklin acknowledging his stim addiction. Each one of those in a lesser show could be the entire episode. This was an episode that got to the end, and my thought was, it's already over? And it packed all of that in a way that felt natural and breathed, and, to your point, planted these incredible seeds that I think the first time around we understood were seeds being planted, but we had no idea what they were going to become. No idea at all. And I said it during the watch, the 2 things I'm leaving this episode holding on to are, I really blamed so much of the Shadow Vorlon War from this point forward on the death of Adira and Londo's response. I don't know now. Like, I just don't know. I'm going to carry that as we watch more. But the other big thing is that reframing of Comes the Inquisitor. That scene with Sheridan and Kosh was, through that lens for me, was unbelievably powerful.
Right.
I had some notes on messages. I'm not sure if you had any.
I got 2.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah. These both kind of come out of the talk that Kosh / Rance Howard had with Sheridan, right? This line jumped out at me, and it just had me spinning and thinking. And honestly, it's kind of what's been consuming my thoughts for the rest of the episode. As I've been watching, like, the other half of my brain has been, I don't know if is that the ADD thing? Like, yeah, all of that's happening. I recognize that's happening, but my mind is thinking about this line. When you live as long as I have, you kind of get used to it. And that is said in the context, and I think this is what he was talking about in the moment, being afraid. Because right where he said, I was afraid. And I guess when you live as long as I have, you kind of get used to it. It's an interesting thing thinking about the Vorlon for so long living afraid. Afraid of what? And then I remembered something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
Going to when they're like little kids with Lorian, and they're just like, we just want our daddy. We just want our daddy. Oh.
They're like, will you go with us?
Yeah, please, please.
Okay, so what are they scared of?
Right?
Being alone? No. Are they scared of going beyond the rim?
Maybe.
Are they scared? Well, what does beyond the rim signify?
Death.
In this galaxy, it signifies death.
Mm-hmm.
The Vorlon were scared of death. And he says, I was afraid for so long, I just got used to living this way. Everything I've done because I was scared, right? Like, yeah, we're going to help other people. We're going to do this. But it's all because I was scared to die. And here's Kosh going, yeah, everything you said was right. And I've just been afraid of dying. And I've been afraid of dying for so long, I've just gotten used to living afraid. And basically, he's sitting there like Kevin McAllister. I'm not afraid anymore. You hear me? I'm not afraid. You know, and what happens? What immediately happens? Kosh dies.
Yep.
He was scared of death, and it caused him and his fellow brethren to live in such a way that, frankly, while they were trying to be helpful, I think their motives were, their motives were impure, but their methods, I think, were good.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It's their time to go. It was Kosh's time to go out beyond the rim, right? They're afraid. Now he's leaving behind a whole lot of afraid brethren, a whole lot of other afraid Vorlons out there, and frankly, a whole lot of afraid shadows. But think about it this way. Watch this show again. When you do Babylon 5 for the third time, which we will not be doing here on the Bad Nerds channel. We will do it personally on our own, but I want to encourage everybody else on your next watch through. Watch this story through the eyes, or visit the Vorlon Shadow story through the eyes of two species, two sides of the same coin, we often say, right?
Yep.
That are afraid. They're actually just afraid.
It reminds me of the saying that so many people are so afraid of dying, they forget to live.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what these two races have done for thousands of years.
Right. Now that leads me to my next piece.
Okay.
All right. There's a truth. There's a hard truth. We, as human beings, achieve immortality through our children, through the things that we leave behind, the people that we leave behind. I'm going to amend that because it's not necessarily your biological children. It's anybody that you've had an impact on. Anybody that you, leave a piece of yourself with.
Okay, yeah.
You see where I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
And it is in that way that we live forever. My ancestors live on through me. When I die and pass away, I will live on through my two children and hopefully their children, and that will go forward. But not just them. Those kids that I coached 4 years ago who still come up to me and tell me coach and call me coach because I see them, out and around town. I'm like, I haven't been your coach in years. And that's how that's the impact I've had on certain people. Hopefully, Jeff, and we know because we've had some feedback, the impact that you and I have been able to have through this amazing platform, which is not something we ever set out to do, right?
No. Sure happened, though.
In the impact that you leave a bit of yourself, and in that way you live forever. And I love that. That is the means by which we live on. And so, frankly, it doesn't make death so scary.
Right.
Because I know I'm going to go on. Whether people remember my name or remember that it comes from me or not, I'm going to go on.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things I pulled out of this episode. You said you had a couple notes. What'd you have?
I really saw this episode through a lens of three people facing extreme trauma. Londo, the trauma of losing Adira, the one thing he ever truly loved in his life, the piece of humanity or centaurity that he was finger nailing his way to hold on to. Dr. Franklin facing his addiction and having that come to light for him. And then Sheridan facing up to Kosh and then handling the death of Kosh. And those three people handled it so differently. When you experience trauma and you're aware of what's happening at some level, you get to make choices in how you respond. There was a version of this where Sheridan could have found out that Kosh died and just go, all hands on deck, we're going after the shadows. How dare they kill Kosh? I want revenge. They can't do that to my buddy. But he didn't. Instead, he was like, this sucks. We're going to take this now to unite us and make us even stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Franklin had the opportunity to double down on his rationalizations, get more mad at Garibaldi, plant his flag and say, I am the chief of staff of this medical office, and you can't take that away from me. Instead, he chose humility, and he chose the safety of himself and others. And then there's Londo, who immediately went full tilt revenge.
Yeah.
And when we watch those things play out through the rest of the series, right, we end up seeing Franklin hanging out with Garibaldi and his kid playing tennis with her and just being this great guy, this good mentor. He's number one to number one, like all these awesome things that happen for him.
Mm-hmm.
We see Sheridan become the first the first president of the Interstellar Alliance.
Wow.
I still have...
Let's be clear, folks. That was not a slip of the tongue by Jeffrey over there.
No, you can go back and listen to our first time.
You can send your emails to jeffdon'tgiveacrap@thebadnerds.com.
No, but the Interstellar Alliance, despite Sheridan's approach to everything, was huge. It had galactic ramifications.
Sure.
And then Londo, his response here almost led to the genocide. I don't know what you call genocide at a galactic scale, but it almost killed everybody. So the choices you make when you face your trauma matter.
Xenocide. Let's call it xenocide.
I like that. It's kind of fun to say, too.
There you go.
And then the other two aren't as deep, but I think there's a lot to be said for standing up for what you believe in, even against the worst of odds. What an example Sheridan was, up against the wall.
Yeah.
Dude, if you kill me and it solves this problem, cool. So just do it. Just do it. Imagine if we faced the things that we believed in that way.
Wow.
It could be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And to kind of piggyback on one of the things you talked about, anyone can be and will be afraid. And that's okay. It's not a weakness. It's just, it's okay. We are afraid. And when I think we look at people in leadership positions or whatever, and we're like, they're so brave because they're not afraid. No, bravery is not the absence of fear. It's the presence of action in the face of fear.
Right.
It's okay to be afraid.
Right.
And we all are sometimes. But yeah, this was, I feel like both of us got more messagey in this one than in other ones, but I think that we're just so strong in this.
I feel like it's been a while since we got messagey in one of these episodes, you know. Well, Jeff, those are our messages. Those are some thoughts on this episode. We have one more duty when it comes to doing this particular show and this particular episode, and that is to place this episode in our 100% completely accurate definitive ranking of Babylon 5 Season 3 for the second time. Jeff, you're the one with the duty this week of placing this ranking in its order. I don't know where you're going to go. I have a thought of where I would put it, and I don't know that I like it.
Yeah.
But this is the spot. What I get to do is I get to kind of try to guess the range that you're in. I could be way wrong, or I could nail it. We have 14 episodes on the list. I'm going to go with our middle 5.
Okay.
That's the range I think you're in. I could be wrong. Our middle 5, number 10 is Matters of Honor. 9 is A Day in the Strife. 8 is Voices of Authority. 7 is Sic Transit Wir. And 6 is Passing Through Gethsemane. I'll throw in a good one for extra measure. Number 5 is Dust to Dust. Jeff, am I in the zone, or is this higher or lower? Where are we placing Interludes and Examinations?
Well, I start my thought process on this down at Exogenesis. No, I'm kidding. You're in the right zone. You are in the right zone. And I really started off at Ship of Tears is where I started. Where I'm like, is this? And it's not, Ship of Tears is a higher ranked episode than this one. I'm going to choose to say higher ranked than better, because I don't want to say any of these episodes are necessarily better than the other ones. They're just ranked differently.
Yeah.
This one shares a lot of parallels with Dust to Dust, right? We get Kosh as a daddy figure, imparting wisdom onto someone else. One in a drug-fueled haze, the other one just having a nice little sleep.
Right.
Passing Through Gethsemane we loved the first time around, and still appreciate because of its reverberations through the series, but its reverberations are thematic. The reverberations we get from Interludes and Examinations are plot, right? Like these are actual things that happen. And so this is where I'm landing right now, is in this dust to dust passing through Gethsemane phase. And I think that you made a really wise choice when you jumped up to number 5 and pulled Dust to Dust in, because that is where it's going to land as the new number 5 episode on the season so far.
All right. Yeah, it's hard. I was trying to think of where I would place it. And again, it's so hard to do this when you take it in and of itself.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just so hard. But
that
anyway,
said, in and of itself, the first time around, this landed at number 8 for us.
It sounds like it might be about in that same spot.
Might be.
It'll give or take 1 or 2, but it sounds like it could be in that same spot. Well, Jeff, that's going to do it for interludes and examinations. Yeah. Next up, oh man, this was Jeff first time around favorite episode, and we got a lot of flack for watching this episode right here because apparently it's out of order.
Yeah, made such a huge difference for us too.
Right? And then everybody was like, actually, it was meant to go here, but then something happened, and then it actually doesn't change a lot at all, which is kind of what we were saying the first time around. So we're going to do it this way again, mostly just because we want the emails and comments.
Love them.
Next week, Walkabout. Sorry if you were expecting War Without End next week, folks. It's Walkabout. Jeff, what do you remember about Walkabout? What do you remember thinking about Walkabout?
I remember, what's the word? Hating this episode.
Oh,
absolutely. This had the horrible, stupid, dumb song in it. But also I think like I'm eager to watch this one the second time because 100% my sheer seething hatred of Dr. Franklin fueled my memories of it, because this is a very Franklin focused episode. But I do not have fond memories of this one at all. Do you remember what you thought of it?
Yeah, remember that lounge singer in this one?
Yeah,
in that song. Apparently, JMS wrote that song, and dude, songwriting's not your bag, man. Right. Good. I mean, listen, bravo for trying it. Good on you for being brave enough to put it out there, but not my bag, dude. Hopefully, it's somebody else's bag. Hopefully, somebody else really dug it.
I think there were people who said that they liked it.
I guess somebody out there heard it and went, "Yeah, Joe, that's good.
That's
Keep
the
that.
thing."
Yeah, do that.
You know,
yeah, go ahead. Oh, what I remember is there's another episode later.
Shadow Dancing.
Is that it? Mm-hmm. That basically does the same thing, only it does it so much better.
Yeah.
So much better. But this is actually, and spoiler, I remember my actual prediction. I haven't even looked it up. I just remember it. I predicted it would be a literal walkabout. And it was a literal walkabout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's what it was until he got stopped. And I remember you and I were going back and forth about like, who is this girl? Is he going to meet himself? Turns out he didn't meet himself till much later. Like, what's going on? And we said she was meeting himself, which actually I still really like that. I like that much better than him, Superman 3-ing it?
Yeah.
Superman 2, one of those, whichever one where Clark Kent and Superman split apart. Mm-hmm. I like that much better than the other way. But yeah, that's what I remember was this episode did not, and I can understand why people would be like amped up for next week if they're expecting War Without End, only to be like, no, we're doing Walkabout. And you're like, what? Why?
I wanted the next week off, not this week.
It's like, what did we? No, why?
Yeah, I feel like, with JMS writing the song, there's a reason that professional baseball players are celebrated if they miss 2 out of every 3 times. It's probably the same in writing. You're not going to hit it 100% of the time, and there's an incredible quote that Wayne Gretzky once made that you miss every shot you don't take.
Yeah.
And kudos to JMS for taking the shot. So we get to watch that again here next week and see if it hits any differently for us. Thanks for hanging out with us today and watching this episode with us. We really appreciate it. We love having you along for the ride. You don't want to miss the next episode or any other cool stuff that we are doing here on the Bad Nerds channel, the Bad Nerds feed, the Bad Nerds Patreon. We have a couple places you can grab our stuff, so make sure you're subscribed and all of that good stuff. Our Patreon, I do want to give it a little shout out. We have a lot of really cool stuff on there in addition to the unedited Babylon 5 episodes. We also have our unedited Stargate episodes and a lot of the other projects that we're doing both together and solo, so you can check that out. There's links in the show notes. But the one thing that you can do if it is the calling of your heart to somehow honor this show and Brent and myself, the one thing you can do is share this show with someone. Share it with somebody who will truly appreciate what we bring to Babylon 5, or who's just going to enjoy watching two yahoos watch this incredible show for the second time. So with that, I'm Jeff. That was Brent.
Jeff.
Yes, what's going on?
Man, hey, listen, I just want you to know time's coming. It'll come for all of us. And when that time comes, when all is said and done, I need you to know, my friend, you've made an impact on me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thanks. You've made a real impact on me, too. I think I'm better, actually. I'm a better person. God, I'm going to start going. I'm a better person, Brent, because I know you.
Oh, Jeff. It's almost like...
Don't.
It's
I
almost
don't.
like...
Don't, man. You're going to ruin it.
Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind of the sea. Like a seed dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
I think we should do more singing on this show.
I think one of my greatest fears was actually trying to really sing on this show.
But when I saw how far you were going, like, when I say that, I'm like, oh, okay. All right, man.
I wasn't quite sure where to begin. So I sort of picked a spot and I was like, I think I know these words. I think I know these lyrics.
You did well.
No. Oh God. Literally in the note was Brent starts singing badly.
You did well with the lyrics is what I'm saying.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Well, also, look, here's the thing. If you can't sing well, sing poorly intentionally.
Right? With confidence.
Yes. So,
hey, I had a great time doing this, but I desperately need to go do the thing. So sorry we have to cut Club 65 short. I apologize.
And hey, listen, Council Chambers, be on the lookout because we'll be recording again very soon, or at least we plan. And we'll see what happens. Keep an eye on Discord and your Patreon messages, and we'll see you guys then. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will catch you guys next time here on Babylon 5 for the first time. Second time. Gosh.